Nature's herald. The world knows of his coming long before he sets foot upon it, for the signs are undeniable, written in the language of creation itself. The earth splits and groans, vast fissures opening in the crust as ancient veins of glowing minerals pulse with energy, as though the planet's heart beats harder in anticipation. Mountain ranges tremble and crumble, their jagged peaks bowing low, while new land rises from the depths of the ocean, steaming and raw, reshaping the maps of empires in mere moments. Forests shed their leaves out of season, and barren deserts bloom with life for an instant, only to fall silent once more, as if nature itself is caught in a cycle of panic and reverence. The sky becomes a canvas of celestial upheaval. The sun is veiled in shadow during a string of eclipses so precise and frequent they defy natural order, each one marking a stage of his approach. Comets streak across the heavens, their fiery tails scrawling ominous messages in forgotten languages, while constellations shift subtly, their altered patterns forming shapes and symbols that scholars and priests scramble to interpret. The blood moon lingers longer than a single night, its crimson hue bathing the world in an unnatural glow that turns rivers and oceans into pools of liquid fire. As the heavens churn, storms rage with a fury never before seen. Lightning bolts, unnaturally vivid and unnervingly precise, strike monuments, temples, and cities, setting them ablaze or shattering them to rubble as if divine hands are erasing humanity's pride. The winds howl with voices, whispers, cries, and chants that no ear can fully understand but all hearts fear. Rain falls in torrents, cleansing the earth even as it floods valleys, while hailstones the size of boulders carve craters into the land. The very air seems alive, heavy with power and anticipation, crackling with an energy that raises hair and steals breath. The seas, too, rise to play their part. Tidal waves crash upon shores, swallowing entire coastal civilizations in moments. Deep within the oceans, ancient leviathans, creatures thought to exist only in myth, emerge, drawn to the surface as though compelled to bear witness. Coral reefs fluoresce with impossible colors, casting eerie lights into the depths, and fishermen report hearing deep, resonant sounds rising from below, songs of the deep, as the waters themselves mourn or celebrate. Among humanity, chaos reigns. Animals turn feral, attacking with a viciousness never before seen, or, conversely, become unnaturally docile, gathering in great numbers to face the same distant horizon. Crops wither and rot overnight, yet strange and radiant plants spring up in their place, their fruits gleaming with light, but carrying an aura that no one dares disturb. People speak in tongues they do not know, muttering fragments of prophecy as if possessed by forces beyond understanding. Dreams of his arrival plague the masses, shared across continents, uniting the minds of kings and beggars alike in a shared, dreadful clarity. Temples of every faith fill with terrified supplicants. Priests and oracles, once confident in their gods, tremble as their altars crack and their sacred fires extinguish, leaving only silence and darkness. Cults dedicated to his worship spring up overnight, their rituals marked by eerie chants, self-sacrifice, and the burning of symbols into the flesh, their faith driven by the undeniable truth of the signs. And then, at last, the air itself stills. The storms subside. The tides pull back. The sky grows clear, revealing a moment of breathtaking stillness. It is the calm before the ultimate revelation, as the world seems to draw a single, collective breath. When he appears, it is not as a conqueror or a destroyer, but as a being who embodies the will of existence itself. He walks not upon the earth, but through it, as though it bends to accommodate him. His arrival is not loud but deafening in its silence, a moment so profound that all who see him are struck with the same undeniable realization. This is not merely a man, nor even a god, but the essence of creation manifest. The blood moon fades. The earth stops trembling. And in that moment, the world knows that nothing will ever be the same. The first moment, as he appears, the world stands still, caught in a timeless suspension. His form is both blinding and incomprehensible, shifting between something human and something far greater, an embodiment of light and shadow, chaos and order. His mere presence warps reality. The sky refracts strange colors, the ground beneath him hums as if singing his name, and the air thickens with an almost unbearable gravity, forcing even the proudest to their knees. His eyes, if they can be called such, burn like twin suns, holding within them the weight of ages past and the promise of futures unwritten. Those who meet his gaze feel their innermost selves laid bare, every thought, every secret, every sin exposed as if etched into their very being. Some weep with joy, others scream in terror, but none can look away. His voice, when it comes, is not a sound but an experience, a vibration that resonates through the bones of every living thing. It is a voice that speaks in all tongues yet no tongue, ancient and infinite, filling the minds of mortals with truths they cannot hope to understand. I am. That is all he says, yet it is enough to fracture mountains and still the beating of hearts. The reactions, around the world, chaos erupts in response to his arrival. For some, his presence is a call to worship. Entire cities fall prostrate, chanting his name as though compelled by forces beyond their will. Others resist, fighting against the reality of him with weapons and armies, but their defiance is futile. Swords shatter, bullets dissolve, and machines of war crumble into dust before they can strike. Among the faithful, miracles begin to occur. The sick are healed, the blind see, and the dying rise to their feet, renewed with life. Yet these blessings are not universal. Those whose hearts are heavy with greed, malice, or hatred find themselves turned to stone, ash, or worse, erased entirely, leaving only an empty space where they once stood. His presence is both a gift and a reckoning, dividing the worthy from the unworthy with an impartiality that transcends mortal understanding. The natural world responds in kind. Rivers that had run dry for centuries suddenly overflow with crystalline waters, while once fertile lands stricken by blight are reborn in lush abundance. But this rebirth comes at a cost. Entire regions vanish into the sea, forests ignite in flames of otherworldly colors, and creatures of myth and nightmare emerge from hidden corners of the earth, as though summoned by his power. It is as if the world is reshaping itself to match his vision, though no one can say whether it is a vision of paradise or purgatory. The aftermath, his presence is not eternal. Just as suddenly as he appeared, he begins to fade, not as one might leave, but as a star might exhaust its light, leaving behind an emptiness that feels as vast as the cosmos. Yet his departure is not an end but a beginning, a transformation. Those who survive his coming find themselves changed, not merely in body but in spirit. The world itself bears the marks of his visit. New mountains rise where he stepped, great chasms form where he lingered. Cities that resisted are left in ruin, overgrown with strange, luminous flora. The faithful gather in the places he touched, building shrines and monuments from the remnants of the old world. These places hum with residual energy, becoming centers of pilgrimage and reverence. Prophets arise, claiming to have glimpsed fragments of his will, and their words ignite a new age of faith, conflict, and discovery. Some say he has left gifts, artifacts of immense power hidden in the reshaped lands, waiting to be found by those deemed worthy. Others believe he has merely withdrawn, watching from beyond the stars, ready to return when the world is once again in need of judgment or salvation. And then there are those who whisper that his coming was not the end, but the harbinger of something greater. For if he is a herald, what then is he heralding? In the dark corners of the earth, where shadows deepen and the air grows cold, new signs begin to stir, subtle at first, but unmistakable to those who know what to look for. The blood moon may have faded, but its crimson stain lingers in the hearts of those who saw it, a reminder that the story is far from over. The eternal legacy, his name, now etched into every language, becomes synonymous with creation and destruction, hope and fear. Songs are sung, tomes are written, and entire civilizations rise around the memory of his coming. But no matter how many years pass, no matter how much the world changes, the question remains. Did he come to save, to judge, or to prepare the world for something far beyond comprehension?